Crash course on Canadian garbage and recycling. Garbage and recycling in Canada are an integral part of the country's commitment to sustainability and environmental protection. In this crash course, we will explore the Canadian approach to waste management, including history, achievements, challenges, and regional differences. History. The history of waste management in Canada dates back to the 19th century, when cities began to organize the collection and disposal of garbage. However, it wasn't until the 1960s that the environmental movement began to gain momentum, and concerns about pollution and waste management came to the forefront of public consciousness. Categories. In Canada, the major recycling categories include 1. Paper and cardboard. This category includes newspapers, magazines, office paper, cardboard boxes, and other paper products. These materials are sorted at recycling facilities, where they are turned into pulp and used to create new paper products. 2. Plastic. Plastic recycling involves sorting and processing various types of plastic materials, including bottles, containers, bags, and packaging. The plastics are sorted by resin type and then melted down to create new products such as park benches, playground equipment, and plastic lumber. 3. Glass. Recycling glass involves crushing the glass into small pieces, melting it down, and then forming it into new glass products. Glass recycling can include bottles, jars, and various other types of glass containers. 4. Metal. Metal recycling involves collecting and processing various types of metal, including aluminum cans, steel cans, and scrap metal. The metals are sorted by type, melted down, and used to create new products such as car parts, construction materials, and household appliances. 5. Electronics. Electronic waste, or e-waste, includes computers, televisions, cell phones, and other electronic devices. E-waste recycling involves disassembling the devices and separating out the various components, including metals, plastics, and circuit boards. These materials can then be recycled into new products. In terms of how these materials are sorted, the process can vary depending on the recycling system in place. Generally, materials are collected at curbside or at recycling depots and then transported to recycling facilities. At these facilities, the materials are sorted by type and then processed accordingly. This can involve shredding, melting, or other processing methods to turn the materials into usable resources that can be used in a circular economy. The end result is new products made from recycled materials, which reduces the need for virgin materials and helps to reduce waste. Achievements. Today, Canada is recognized as a world leader in waste management and recycling. According to a report by the Conference Board of Canada, the country's recycling rate is the highest among Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, countries, with an average of 77% of waste diverted from landfills. One of the key achievements in Canadian waste management has been the implementation of Extended Producer Responsibility (EPR) programs. These programs require manufacturers to take responsibility for the end-of-life management of their products, which has resulted in significant improvements in recycling rates and waste reduction. Another major success story is the widespread adoption of curbside recycling programs. Most Canadian municipalities now offer curbside recycling for a wide range of materials, including paper, plastic, glass, and metal. Challenges. Despite these achievements, Canada still faces significant challenges in waste management. One of the most pressing issues is plastic waste. Canada produces around 3.3 million tons of plastic waste each year, with only 9% of that being recycled. The rest ends up in landfills, incinerators, or the environment, where it can cause significant harm to wildlife and ecosystems. Another challenge is the uneven distribution of waste management resources across the country. Rural and remote communities often lack access to proper waste management facilities, which can lead to illegal dumping and environmental degradation. Regional differences. Waste management practices in Canada vary from province to province, with each region implementing its own programs to address local needs. For example, in British Columbia, a deposit refund system exists for beverage containers, which encourages recycling and reduces litter. In Quebec, a similar program is in place for wine and spirit containers. Some regions have focused on waste-to-energy incineration as a method of waste management, while others have prioritized recycling and composting. For instance, in the Yukon Territory, the landfill diversion rate is only 2%, while in Nova Scotia, it is 50%. For example, the City of Vancouver has a comprehensive recycling program that aims to reduce waste and increase the amount of materials that are recycled. One solid example of their recycling program is their food waste recycling program. In 2015, Vancouver implemented a mandatory food scraps recycling program for all residents and businesses. This program requires residents and businesses to separate food scraps and other organic materials from their garbage and recycling. These materials are then collected separately and processed into compost and soil amendments. The program has been highly successful, with over 100,000 tons of food scraps and other organic materials collected and diverted from landfill since its implementation. This has helped to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, as food waste in landfills produces methane, a potent greenhouse gas. The food scraps recycling program is also an example of how a circular economy can be achieved through recycling. The compost and soil amendments produced from the food scraps can be used to grow new plants, which in turn can be used as food, completing the cycle of waste reduction and resource recovery. In addition to the food scraps recycling program, the City of Vancouver also has recycling programs for other materials, including paper, cardboard, plastics, glass, and electronics. They also have a comprehensive education program that provides information on how to recycle properly and reduce waste. Overall, the City of Vancouver's recycling program is a great example of how a municipality can implement a successful waste reduction and recycling program. By making recycling mandatory and providing education and resources, the city has been able to significantly reduce waste and increase the amount of materials that are recycled. Interesting stories. One interesting story in Canadian waste management is the case of Toronto's garbage crisis in the late 1990s. At the time, the city was running out of space for its waste, and plans to build a new landfill were met with strong opposition from local residents. Eventually, the city implemented a number of measures to reduce waste, including curbside recycling and composting, which helped to mitigate the crisis. Another interesting story is the success of TerraCycle in Canada. TerraCycle is a company that specializes in recycling hard-to-recycle materials, such as coffee pods and cigarette butts. The company partners with various Canadian retailers and manufacturers to provide collection points for these materials, which are then recycled into new products. In conclusion, Canadian waste management has come a long way in recent decades, with a strong focus on sustainability and waste reduction. However, challenges remain, particularly when it comes to plastic waste and the uneven distribution of waste management resources. By continuing to innovate and collaborate, Canada can continue to be a leader in sustainable waste management practices. We hope this video has given you a taste of all the incredible experiences Canada has to offer. If you're ready to start planning your own adventure to Canada, please ensure to use our Booking.com referral link. https://www.booking.com/index.html?8 =7989335 to book your flights, hotels, car rentals, local attractions, and more. It's an easy and kind way to support this channel and make sure you get the best possible deals on your trip. Thank you. AnHub Metaverse team at Vancouver, Canada, CA.